I've got a Stanley block plane here that I picked up at the flea market the other day, and you can pick these things up for $10 or $15. They're good. They're good little block planes. Good value in these things. So first thing we'll do is get the blade ready. So take the cap off and pop the blade out. Now after we get the blade, we'll start looking at the bottom of it and seeing what kind of shape it's in, whether we need to flatten it or whatever. But the blade looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's a stock Stanley blade. You can soup them up a little bit by adding a replacement blade to it, but you're going to pay a lot for that replacement blade too. Not saying you shouldn't do it. It makes for a nice plane, but you can get a good job done with this right here. So I could flatten the back of this first and then grind it, or grind it and then flatten the back, and I'm over here at the grinder, so I'm going to go ahead and grind it first. So I was checking to see what the angle of that bevel is right now, and it's looking like it's about 25, which is maybe a tad bit low, a tad bit thin. You know, it's a balance between getting it too thin to where it won't be able to hold an edge, and too blunt to where it's too tough to push through the wood. And that's where you come up with about 27, 28 degrees. But also, this blade is quite thin, and when you put a 28 degree bevel on it, the length of that bevel is going to be pretty short, which makes it harder to hold on the stone. So you got to think about that too. So in some instances, you might want to lay that bevel back just a little bit, maybe get it down around 25 or lower, and after you get it sharp, put a small micro bevel on it to strengthen that edge. So there's different ways that you can do it. I'm going to go ahead and grind this one at 25 and just put a 2 or 3 degree micro bevel on the end of that, at the very end of the honing, and it'll be able to hold its edge better, but I'll be able to hone it a little bit easier by holding that bevel on the stone. So I'll take the marker, put a black mark across the bevel, and then try to set the, I can tell that that's a little bit, let's see what we got there. Well, lucked out the first time. I don't do that often. It's hitting right smack dab in the center of the bevel there. So I'm going to go ahead and grind, although I might check the squareness of it first, just see where I stand with that. This edge over here is a little bit high. So even pressure, but not too much. Got a little ways to go. check the it's close, still a little bit high over here on this corner. Looks great. Okay, let's go over the sharpening stones. So I've got the 800 grit stone out because I want to check the back of this blade and see how flat it is, and I can just put a mark along the back edge of it. So the only thing that's missing, this is pretty amazing, you don't usually pick up a blade like this from the flea market and have it flat on the back, but this one just lacks just that corner right there, just barely. I can see it's a little shinier back over here on this corner than this dull area that this 800 grit stone put on it. So it shouldn't take but a minute or two to Okay, I'm all the way out there now. That's great. We'll just so I've got the 1200 grit stone on here. I don't know why they made the 800 grit and the 1200 grit the same color. The only way I can keep up with which one's which is I know which side of the tub they're on over there. Oh, you can tell if you put them side by side, but I just keep them on opposite sides of the tub. So first thing I'll do is hone on this ground edge, and like I was saying over there when I was grinding it, is this bevel is a whole lot shorter than the bevel on that 3/4 inch chisel. So it's a little bit trickier to find. So I'm going to set it on its heel, roll it forward till it stops, and there I am. Let's see what we got. So not a bad grind. I'm missing a little bit right out here on this side. Well, we're close. We're still not there. So I didn't grind it, you know, perfect. It's not too bad, but I'm honing a whole lot more on this right side than over here on this left side. Okay, we're there. So now I'll turn it over on the back side and take out those 800 grit scratches that the last stone left in it. Okay, that looks good. We're ready to move to the final stone, 8,000 grit. Okay, so we've got the 8,000 grit stone now, and I'll work up a slurry with this Angura stone, and hopefully it'll lock on that sandpaper. Make sure I don't have any grit from the previous stone on the blade. And put it on the heel, rock it forward till I feel the toe hit. And turn it back over. And we'll chase the burr a little bit on that. That stone's making that back shiny. Okay, let's see what we got. See if I can get me a, yeah, I think there's a clean spot right here on it. Feels good. So I drag the edge of my fingernail across it. I don't know, might be something right there. We'll see. And it feels sharp right there, so might be there. Now, since this is a plane that I just bought at the flea market, I don't know what shape the bottom of it's in. This is adjustable mouth. So it's pretty nice plane. So let's just go ahead. I mean, I can put some marks on it and help out. Put a mark right at the front of the mouth, up here somewhere, back there, a couple of them across through there. And let's see what we got. So what I've got here, this is some 250 grit sandpaper. So it'll flatten the bottom of this plane pretty fast. Okay, so what you're seeing is it's not hitting right in front of the mouth. And that's where it needs to hit the most. It's not hitting out front, it's not hitting here either. So where it's hitting is right back in there and right on that edge there. So let's see how long it'll take us to get that down. Okay, not too long at all. We're almost got it all on the front, or right in front of the mouth. And the mark's completely off on the toe and starting to hit it on the back of the plane. Pretty close, maybe a little bit more. Okay. Looks pretty good. So I've got the 800 grit stone on there now. Okay, maybe go on up one more, just to polish it a little bit. So I got the 1200 here. Alright, so we've got the blade sharp, but since I ground it to 25 degrees, I'd like to make that blade a little tougher. And so I'm going to very scientifically pull this up about 3 degrees and pull back on it. Then I can turn the burr off. Now all the action is right at the edge of that blade, so just that little bit will do it. And what that enables me to do is to come back in future sharpenings and hone out that little micro bevel with just a couple of passes, and then I can put it back in. So you don't want to put in some big bevel or roll it over or whatever, because then it's very difficult to resharpen it. So it should be ready. We'll see. I run my fingernail across the edge of it, and I don't pick up any nicks at all, and then I can test it right like that, and it's grabbing it all down its length. So I'll put it back in the plane. So block plane blade, the bevel goes up in these block planes. So the angle that the blade is cutting at, since the bevel goes up, is a combination of this angle right here and then the angle that you ground the blade at. Okay, tighten that down, and see where we are. And then this has an adjustable mouth on it, so you can loosen that up and bring that, once we get the blade where we want it. I've got the mouth open a lot right now, but I can close that up in just a minute. So we'll see. That might do it. So let's put a piece of walnut in the vise over here and test it on it. Okay, so we'll set it up on this piece of walnut. Walnut is just like a perfect planing wood, you know, not too hard, not too soft, just really nice. Yeah, went a little bit too far there, didn't I? Back that up just a little bit, and we'll look and see that it's square, and it's not. Oh, come on. Just a hair more. See what we got here. So we got a nice shaving off of that. Now for the real test, put in a piece of white pine ingrain. And this is like the hardest stuff ever to plane because it's so soft. And then you've got the ingrain there, but it's the true test of the edge. If it can make it smooth and slick and look like it's been waxed with no tracks in it from nicks, then you've got it. So there we go. We got a Nice little ingrained shaving there. It falls apart because it's ingrained, as you see, but it still pulls up a shaving, and no tracks at all from the nicks. Nice and shiny looking. In fact, that's a, ooh, look at that one. Wow, look at that. That's great. Woo! Okay, I believe the block plane's ready to go. Wow, that's nice. Okay. That's impressive.